I can't stop them flickering. They're weird, aren't they? It's a bit ghastly, that light. Mm. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start lying down. And you want to make sure you've got space out to your side and above you. We've got a nice sort of space here in this room, but if you're watching and you're watching this and you're at home, then just get yourself organized with furniture and things. So in this nurturing back class, we're thinking about the whole body. We are going to specifically do some hip stuff as we did last week as well, but so thinking about the whole body, but mostly focusing on the hips and the back. Sorry, I didn't ask you two in the room. Have you got any requests? Oh, well, there you go. That's great. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so settling yourself down, whether you're comfortable lying without any supports underneath you. So, you know, yoga blocks, cushions, pillows are helpful underneath the head or underneath the knees. Or you could be completely flat, or you could bend your legs, feet flat on the floor. So you're just focusing, as I say, this is a back class, so focusing on what feels right for the back. And we'll just begin with resting at ease. I am going to try and just deal with these lights. I wonder if I've got the wrong bulbs in. That's going to drive us mad. Is that okay? Because that one's a bit. Is that okay? I think they've changed. So settling, resting at ease. And doing a body scan, noticing the parts of you that feel good. So it's very easy when we have a part of the body that is shouting the loudest because it's you have discomfort there. It's very easy to just continuously think about that. So, you know, lower back, left side, hip, whatever you've got going on. But think about the good bits. Thinking about the soles of your feet, the calves, the back of the knees, that quiet space at the back of the neck, under the arms, all those other places. And letting your breath, as you exhale, letting the breath melt all those good positive feeling sensations through the rest of the body. So using your exhale as a sense of releasing and melting those good positive sensations through the whole body. Okay, so a long, slow exhale, maybe just giving a little bit of energy to it, so you're pushing and pressing the breath out, so it's a little bit longer and deeper. And then feel the inhale rise up through the body. So less control over the inhale, just let the inhale happen. But noticing the length of the exhale, and just towards the end, just bring a bit of strength to it and push and press out so it becomes longer, and you know that you're fully releasing and letting the breath empty completely. Okay, last one. Long, long, long exhale. Finish with an inhale and return to normal breathing. And we revisit this breathing throughout the class. So arms down by your side. And if you have any blocks underneath your hips or legs, just slide them away and bring your feet so they are flat on the floor, feet behind the hips, feet and knees hip width apart. That's it, perfect. Okay, so thumb and index finger hooked into the crease of the elbow, so your arms are folded across the front of the body. Perfect, that's it. So you're breathing in, draw your forearms up and over your head. And breathing out, long, slow exhale, maybe with a bit of strength at the exhale, at the end of the exhale to press the breath out. So as you breathe in, notice the shape of your back changing, that lift and opening of the shoulders as well as the rib cage and the lower back stretching out of the hips. And then exhale, bringing some energy and strength to the exhale, press it away, press it away, press it away. Forearms come back down. So breathing in, lift and open. And exhale, slowing it down, bringing some strength to it, completely empty. 3 more, so you've done about 6 altogether. So take your time, especially on the exhale, nice, slow, long exhale, press the breath out. Two more. Lovely. We're just checking in on how the shoulders feel. At the end of this one. Finish on the inhale, so your forearms are up and over the head. So you have the choice to stay here, fingers stay interlaced, the fingers stay hooked in, or you could just rest your forearms on your forehead, or unfold your arms and stretch out through your fingertips. So arms are straight along your floor, your carpet, wherever you're at on your mat. And notice how this feels to open the palms wide and spread your fingers, or to keep hold of the elbows and just give them a little bit more of a pull and a lift. And then how does it feel to open the arms and have them a little bit wider? In the V shape, that's a little bit wider still. So opening out into the V. That's it. And then draw your arms all the way back down, arms down by your side. So one of the big things with the back classes is building strength in your core. So we're going to do some of those exercises to draw up and in pelvic floor, abdominal muscles to begin with, and then we'll increase with some leg exercises. So arms down by your side, palms down. And you all know this one, so it's that lovely long exhale again. And as you exhale, you're pulling up on the pelvic floor and drawing your abdominal muscles up and in. And then inhale, release and relax, let it go. So exhale, squeeze, it's long exhale, press away, but at the same time, you're activating pelvic floor, drawing your abs in. Inhale, relax, release, let go. Squeezing, exhale. So you're just doing a little tilt, not coming up into a bridge pose. Okay, one more. And release. You bring your arms, bring your hands behind your head, fingers interlaced. And just, you might want to watch me just to remember what's called the yoga sit-ups. So you have your chin up, between the chin and the chest, imagine you have a grapefruit that you're holding there and you don't want to squash it as you lift your chin. So I do this with my eyes open. I'm looking up and away behind me. So as I exhale, shoulders soft, elbows stay out to the side, keeping this distance here. Pelvic floor, abs engaged, lift the heart and head. I'm squeezing, it feels really hard work on my abs. Hold, and then inhale, lower back down. Okay, so we're going to do 8 of these. Off you go. So exhale, squeeze, pull up pelvic floor, abdominal muscles, chest and head lift. The head is heavy in your hands. And then inhale, lower back down. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower all the way back down. So I'm saying we'll do a set of 8. However, if you get tired or if it feels not right on the neck, then maybe do half the amount, but do 4 really good ones. And then rest and roll your head from side to side, just ease the neck. Good, that's it. So squeezing, pelvic floor, abs engaged, lift from the heart. Pull up, pull up. You can squeeze your bottom as well to add a little bit more strength. I think we've got 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze. And again. Okay, so it can feel tough on the neck. So you just take your hands away and just flop your head from side to side, easing out the neck. Do some little rolls with your chin. So your lips come apart and you do some little circles with your chin. Circle the other way, just loosening the jaw and the neck. Okay, so we're going to do another set of 8. And as always, if you wish, we can add on extra layers. So if you want to, you lift the legs, cross at the ankles, hands behind the head, and you are breathing out, sending your heels up to the ceiling, abs engaged, pelvic floor, chest up, head up. Inhale, lower down and bring the heels slightly away. So it's just small movements. Exhale, push up. And inhale, come away. So we're just doing another 6, so 8 again all together, or just do half that amount. That's it. So long exhale, push, hold, pelvic floor, abs engaged. Inhale, lower down, or if that all feels too much, with the feet up in the air, then feet down. That's it. Take your time. Long, slow movement, slow exhale to lift. Inhale, lower down. Okay, when you've done your set of 8, then rest. You could bring your knees into your chest and curl your head up to your knees and rock from side to side. You could come into a full body stretch to ease out the abs. Lovely. Third set. So if you've had enough, you can just rest. Or back to the first one, so feet flat on the floor. All of them are hands behind the head. Second one, heels up. Or third one, we could come up into boat pose. So extending the legs out, reaching the arms up and away. Take a big breath in, full stretch. And then as you exhale, you float your arms down, lift the legs, hold, and then release. Inhale, full stretch. Exhale, arms down, lift the head. Squeeze. Inhale, open. And we do 8, whichever, or you can mix it up. Squeeze. That's it. Inhale, open, lift. Exhale. So remembering that Yes, this is an exercise class, but it is yoga, and we are focusing on the back. So if you feel it's straining, then ease off and come back to perhaps feet on the floor, lifting the chin, squeezing. Good. Don't do any more than 8. Lovely. I've completely lost count, by the way. So when you think you've done 8, then rest. Flop your knees from side to side when you're finished. And take some big breaths into your navel, into the lower abdomen to ease out your abs. Feet, stay hip width, but a little bit wider with your feet, Charlotte, so you can ease out the hips. Help you. That's it. Flop side to side. Great. Okay, so now we'll move on to some hip things. So we're going to bring the knees into the chest, hands on your kneecaps. So there's loads of different things to think about with your hips. So the first thing we're doing here, as you draw your knees in, is waking up your hip flexors. So that's that point there where they, at the top of the thighs, that crease in the knee. So squeeze in, squeeze in. Notice how it feels. Mine feels a bit tighter through my left side. So just easing that in, and you could curl your head up as well. Get yourself up into a really small ball. Bring your head down onto the mat, chin tucks in, and then opening the hip flexors. So hands on your knees, cupping the knees and circling your legs around as if you're swimming, breaststroke. Great. Okay, so remembering again, this is focusing on the back as well as obviously we're doing this hip stuff, but think about your back. So as we go wider with the circles, so you push the knees out, press the knees away and draw them in, just checking in on how it feels with the back. So you don't want to overstrain it. It's again nice and slow, so really, really slow. That's it, that's better. So moving your legs as if you are swimming breaststroke, Helen, wide and open your legs apart. That's it. There you go. So thinking about the structure of the hip joints, it's a ball and socket joint, and you're just easing the head of the seam of the ball into the hip joint now. And if you just circle the other way round, noticing how that feels. And perhaps your hands go a little bit lighter and your legs go a little bit further away. Out. That's it. One more. And then bring your knees in, but the knees and the feet are wide apart. Hands wrap around the outside of the legs, find the outside of the feet, and lift your shins, happy baby pose. So it's the feet are wide, knees are wide, there you go. And then you can just rock a little bit from side to side. And if you can't reach for the feet or don't want to, you could just hold the back of the thighs, keep the knees wide, rock from side to side. And holding in happy baby, can you draw your toes any further back behind you? Can you drop your knees any further down? Rock, rock, rock. Is that you? Okay, and then release. And knees, both knees into the chest. So I have, you've probably all done these hip exercises with me before. but I know I haven't taught them for a couple of months. So you might want to just watch me first of all, just as a reminder. Okay, so you're starting with the feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, and you're engaging the pelvic floor, your lower abdominal muscles, and you pop your hands on your hips. And then you're going to lift up the right heel and the sole of the right foot, and you're going to very, very slowly glide the leg out. Remember that one? And then eventually you get to that point where you hold and you're pulling up on the abdominal muscles and squeezing, holding in, and then you very slowly, slowly, slowly drag the leg back in. The whole time the foot, you see my foot is just hovering off the ground. So we'll do it like that, and then we'll do it in happy baby pose. So one leg back here and then slide out and in. All right, so I don't mind which leg you start with, whichever you prefer. Put your hands on your hips, relax your shoulders down, maybe do a couple of head rolls, just ease in the upper body. And then engage the pelvic floor, engage your abdominal muscles. So I'm lifting up the sole of my right foot, and I have about, I think it's about an inch off the ground. So Heather, lower down. Can you look at my foot? Yours is like that. Sole of the foot parallel. And then now super slow. So extend away. Slow, slow, slow. Extending. So it should take several breaths until you're at that straight position. So hands stay on the hips, pelvic floor engaged. Extend out, extend out, extend out. And then eventually the leg gets to the straight point, and then we hold here. Right, so I can see all of you in that extended position. If at any point it's all too tiring, then please just rest. So you're keeping the back of the left hip pressing down. And now we're going to very slowly draw the leg back in. So move an inch, another, slowly, slowly come back in. It's like your leg is really, really, really heavy. It feels weird. It feels like you're holding someone else's leg, doesn't it? Just slowly in, slowly in. Fantastic. Slow. And then eventually, do take your time, eventually the legs will be roughly in line. And then you put that foot down on the ground and take a breather. And then we repeat. So hands are still on your hips. Starting position is pelvic floor and abs engaged, and we go out very slowly with the opposite leg now. So for me, it's my left leg. So I have my left foot an inch off the ground, abs engaged, slowly, out you go. Take your time. The more relaxed and heavy you can make the leg, the more you'll get out of strengthening the hip, lower back. You can probably feel that quad working, which is really good for keeping your knees nice and healthy. Eventually you get to straight, and then you hold, hold, hold. So pelvic floor, abs engaged. And now let's suck that leg back in. Move an inch, hold. Move another, hold. We found that amazing how, even though it's a very slow movement, how strong it is, how hot the leg feels, the joints, everything just gets really, really warm. Take your time. Take your time. Inch by inch, you're slowly moving. That's it. Let's get to breathe. You're nice and slow, take your time. And then eventually, you come back down, you take a breather. And then maybe windscreen wiping the legs from side to side, or you could open them out into Baddha Konasana, so it's feet towards each other. Great. Okay, so the next position is in happy baby pose with one of the legs. So I'm bringing my no, I'm going to bring my left knee in, and then knee out to the side, and reaching my left hand around, grabbing hold of the outside of my foot and coming into happy baby pose. So my left knee is way out to the side, dropping down, toes pulling back behind. Lift up the right foot. Again, it's just hovering off the ground, and exactly the same, you start to extend out. Take your time. Slowly, slowly. Keep breathing. Engaging the core. Sucking the abdominal muscles back and in. Towards the spine. Eventually get to straight. Take your time to get there. And with that leg then hovering off the ground, you then start to suck it back in again. Slowly. Slowly. Take your time. Very good. And then the leg that you're moving can come all the way into happy baby. So it goes wide. You wrap your arm around the side, grab a hold of the foot, bring your opposite leg that was back in happy baby down to the floor first. Just give it a rest. So I've got my right leg in happy baby and dropping the knee down, the toes go back behind. And then hover your left foot off the ground, or the leg that you're moving, and then off you go. You start to slowly extend, extend, extend. Take your time. Slow, controlled movements. Hovering, holding, lovely. And then slowly draw the leg back in. Slow. That's it. Fantastic. And then release and give both knees a hug, rocking from side to side. Well done, everybody. Okay, so let's come up onto all fours. Put some padding underneath the knees if you need it. I've walked into the bed yesterday and I've got such a bruise on my knee. And bang. It's not like the bed's moved, I was just rushing around. Okay, so those same abdominal muscles, pull up and in, roll the shoulders back, look straight down, and then you just rock in back, hips back, bring your weight into your hands, crown of the head forwards. So you don't necessarily have to come all the way back. We're just using this to stretch the lower back, crown of the head forwards, and hips travel back. So in making sure that you're not dipping and collapsing through the lower back, but keep those abs engaged the whole time. So you're not doing cat pose where we're round and hollow, we're just holding, engaging. Then back, crown of the head forwards, and hips go back. gently. Okay, then come back to the center point. We're just going to do some warm-ups for the wrists. Spread your hands as wide as you can, fingers, sorry, as wide as you can, and then turn your hands out so your fingers are pointing to the long edges of your mat, and then rock from side to side. From side to side. Ooh, ooh, I know. All right. So if you can stay with this one, you could go back to the previous one, or you can continue winding the hands around so your fingers and thumbs point towards your knees. And then you just go back and rock forwards. So if you're doing that one, try and keep your fingers spread wide rather than gripping with your fingers, Charlotte. So fingers wide. That's it. It is good, but it's strong. So just go easy. And then enjoy the unwinding as the fingers come back to what is normal. So the fingers now face forward. Okay, so fingers towards the short edge of the mat. And walk your left hand so it's wider off your mat. And then bring your right fingers towards the left corner of your mat. So you stretch right fingers all the way over to the left corner of your mat. And then drop your head down. So your right ear, right, send your hips back. Hips back. Fingers towards the, stretching towards the diagonal. Have your thumb sticking up. Pressing the hips back. Deep stretch through your side. Perfect. So I'm just going to do it facing the camera. Those of you on Zoom. So have left hand wider, right hand towards the left corner of your mat, and head down, hips back. And you keep the weight of the hips going back, stretch the fingers forwards, 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 staying on that knife edge of that right hand to the left corner of your mat. Press back. Perfect. Come all the way up, back to all fours, hands underneath the shoulders. That's it. So now your right hand comes wider, and the left hand goes to the right corner of your mat. Stretch away. Left ear drops down towards your left shoulder. And then send your hips back. So your hips are still left in the air. Press the hips back. Extends the left fingers towards the right corner. Sorry, what did you say, Heather? Yeah, yeah. Hopefully in a good way. So keep breathing here. Hips back, fingers forward. Stretching to the corner. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Hands are underneath your shoulders again. Okay, drop back into swan pose. So bottom back towards your heels and walk your fingers way forwards to the other side of the mat. Drop your forehead down. And then instead of just stretching and reaching as far as you can, we're going to use our breathing to help us go deeper into the hip flexors. So as you inhale, you stretch forwards. And as you exhale, keeping your hands in exactly the same position, but you just push into your grippy yoga mat and press your weight back into the hips. So I'm breathing in, stretching my fingers towards the short edge of the mat, and then breathing out, push my hands into the mat, weight of the hips goes back towards the heels. Inhale, stretching forward. Exhale, pushing back, but the shape doesn't really change. Inhale, reaching forwards. Exhale, pressing back. And then we'll just do a few to the other side, from side to side. So lift your head, walk your hands over to the right. You can put your left hand on top of the right hand. Forehead drops down. Breathing in, stretching the fingertips to the right side and breathing out, pushing, but now especially with that left hand, so you're just deepening that stretch. Great, and then go the other way. All the way back, over to the left. Now you can just have the hands next to each other, or to deepen the stretch, right hand on top of left, forehead down, breathing in, lengthen to the fingers, breathing out, press the hands in, push the weight back into your hips. Super. Okay, come back to the center and then bring your hands down towards your feet to give your shoulders a break. So just let your shoulders flop, head down, relax. Wiggle your fingers and toes, deepen your breath, and then bring yourself forwards and onto your front. You might want some padding now underneath your pelvis. A bit of more padding as we lie down. Okay, popping one hand on top of the other when you're ready. Forehead down. Roll your shoulders back. And then pointing out through your toes. Breathing in, raise the right leg, just doing single leg raises to start. Working at the muscles of at the back of the body now. So glute, lower back lifting. Exhale down, change sides, left leg, extending, lift, keep it straight, lift, hold, and lower down. And again, right leg, extend, lift, inhale, hold. Have a sense of length as you lower all the way down, so we're lengthening out of the waist, lengthening out of the hip. We've done 3 either side. Just give your hips a little jiggle from side to side, or you do that one where we bend the legs and flop the feet from side to side, moving the feet like windscreen wipers. Okay, so if it's comfortable for your nose to be squashed on your mat, you could change your hand position for the next pose. So you have your forehead down on the mat. My nose gets a bit of a squash, and then you tuck your hands into, so make little soft fists, and then just at the top of the thighs into the hip flexors, and then rest. Weight down into the hands. So we're going to breathe in, lift both legs, hold, and then widen. Watch the space around you, and then exhale, lower together and lower down. So it's inhale, lift, hold, inhale, widen, exhale, together and down. If it's uncomfortable having the hands tucked in, then just bring them back underneath the forehead. So you're lifting on your inhale, pointing out through the toes. That's it. Holding, exhale. Then inhale, go as wide as you can, watching things around you that bump and stuff. Hold. And then exhale, together and down, relax. Breathing in, lift. Hold. Next inhale, widen. Good. Exhale, together and down. Okay, one more. Lift, inhale. Hold. Widen. Exhale together and down. Rest. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Okay, some hamstring stuff now. So hands come out of there and you can pop them here underneath the head again. So you can make a little pillow with the fists, or one hand on top of the other, bending your legs and getting your feet so they are flexed and parallel with the floor. And then we're going to work the hamstrings. So you're just pushing the right heel up towards the ceiling and then pulse the leg up and down. Push, 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 push. So just one leg at a time. Press from the heel, press from the heel, press from the heel, release. Okay, changing leg. You see flexing, push from the heel, flex, press, 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 press. This is great for strengthening the hamstring. You can probably feel it in your bottom and your lower back as well. Push, push. And release and flop the heels from side to side, moving like windscreen wipers. Okay, so remember that action. Now extend your legs out, point your toes. Bring your hands out so that your elbows are roughly in line with your shoulders and your fingers face forwards. Forehead down. Extend out through the toes. Press the tops of your feet into your yoga mat. Tailbone tucks under. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then take a big breath in and lift the head, gripping your fingers into the floor as if you're trying to pull yourself forwards with your hands. So you're gripping in, shoulders roll back, pull. Tailbone tucks under, squeeze your bottom, push the tops of your feet into the mat, press down. So legs are strong and feel that stretch through the front of the body, and maybe feel the back muscles working to lift you as well. Exhale, lower down. Wiggle your hips from side to side. You could do windscreen wiper with your lower legs lifted, dropping from side to side. And so repeating in that position with the hands if you want to. If you want to come higher, if the back feels okay, then you just bring your hands closer in and underneath the shoulders for a slightly bigger version of cobra. So remember, we are nurturing the back, so you don't want to feel any tightness or pinching, just strengthening. So tailbone tucks under, plant the feet down, squeeze your glutes, inhale, lift. Holding. Remember those long exhales we had at the beginning? Reintroducing those, a big exhale, softening into the shape. Inhale, lifting, shoulders soft, relax your jaw, lovely. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Long, long, long exhale, exhale, exhale. Relax the bottom, hips wiggle from side to side. You can flop the feet from side to side. Right, okay, next one. Legs bent. So remember that action when we were coming up and pushing with the heels up. Now we're going to have a go at bringing both legs up. So this might not suit all of you. So you could have a go at finding your feet. If you can't reach your feet, you could just hold your trouser legs. If you can reach your feet, ideally, you are holding the ankles rather than the feet. So you can flex your feet and push your heels up and away. So breathing out, press down, roll the shoulders back, push on the heels. Up you go. So rather than just yanking yourself up, you're using your hamstrings to push your heels up. Press up, press up, press up from the heels. or come down, hands down, and come back up into cobra. Baby cobra or elbows on the ground, further away. So all looking really good. Okay, release down. And just wiggle your hips from side to side, bottom wiggles, heels out, toes tuck in. And we'll do one more back bend. So I really don't mind which you do. Which one felt good for you is the one that you want to go with. So either here or hands further back, lifting, or bending the legs, reaching the arms behind, grabbing hold of the feet, flexing the feet, breathing out, pressing down, roll the shoulders back, press up through the heels and lift. Strengthen the legs, strengthen the hamstrings as you come up. So whichever you choose, make sure you feel that your back especially is comfortable. Long exhales. Brilliant, well done. Exhale, long exhale, come all the way down and then push yourself up onto all fours. Okay, on all fours, wiggling the hips from side to side, like you've got a tail, wagging your tail. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then come into rounding cat. So it's like you're draped over one of those massive exercise balls, tailbone tucked under, head down. Stretch the back and hold in position. So you're stretching out those lower back muscles. Imagine that your highest points of your curve is your lower back, and you're trying to push it up towards your ceiling. Press up, press up, press up, head down, relax the jaw. And then come back onto all fours. Okay, so all the way down onto the ground and swivel yourself over onto your side. I don't think you've done this one with me, Heather. So, well, it's more comfortable having a little bit of padding underneath your hips. So you're lying on your side. So the full pose is absolutely flat. So you have like a knife edge all the way down one side of your body, palms together. We're going to be lifting up the top arm and the top leg. And as you lift, you might wobble. So if you feel unstable, you just look at me. You're just going to bend your bottom leg so it gives you a wider base, but the top leg stays straight. Okay? You can start off with that leg, that's it. So first one is coming up, we're going to repeat each two versions twice. So you're coming up to roughly 45 degrees. So up you come. Keep your balance. Lift. A little higher, Heather. Sit down with your arm. There you go. And then slowly lower down. Fantastic. Okay, so now you lift as high as you can. So your arm will be able to move much higher than your hip, than your leg. As you come up, make sure you stay on that knife edge. So your awareness stays in your underside. So you don't want to roll your bottom back. That's it, good. You're looking great. Exhale, slowly, slowly come down. Okay, so that's one set. We're going to do that 4 more on this side and then we'll roll around to the other. So breathing in, 45 degrees. Breathing out, slowly lower down. And keeping your balance, come up to the highest point, but still staying on that knife edge. You don't go hey and roll backwards. Slowly lower down. That's 2. Third one. Little lift, 45 degrees. Exhale down. And up as high as you can. Keep your focus and concentration on that knife edge of pressure that's touching your mat. Two more. 45 degrees. Down, exhale. And up as high as you comfortably can and keeping your balance. One more. As high as you can. Well done. Okay, and then bring your top arm onto your thigh and give it a rub. Maybe you need to ease, roll the hip joint. You can squidge it with the thumb and the index finger, the palm. You can do a little pummeling and then roll yourself over to do the other side. Well done. So on your knife edge, yeah, palms together, that's it. So maybe bottom leg bent for more balance. Maybe you able to keep them both straight. 45 degrees. Inhale. Exhale. Hands, feet meet. Inhale as high as you can. So just testing the water on this side. How does it feel? Slowly lower down. 45 degrees, lift. Exhale down. Inhale as high as you can, keeping your balance. Good. 3 more. Up on the inhale, 45 degrees. And as high as you can. Two more. Don't rush. Last one. And then when you've finished, your hand comes down onto your thigh, maybe give it a little rub. Ease it out, bend, flex, roll the hip. Okay, so let's get ready to take some rest. So I'd like you to put your extra layers on and consider, as we've been focusing on the hips and the back, that consider coming into bound cobbler pose to rest. So that's soles of the feet together, knees open, hands onto your hips. And you might want to put a yoga belt wrapping around the thighs. So you've got something for the legs to hold on to. So you make a big loop with your yoga belt. You might want to put fists underneath your thighs instead of a load of cushions and blocks and supports. Or you might not want to do that at all. Another nice option is to come into legs at the wall pose, which we did yesterday, didn't we? So you bring yourself to the wall and fling your legs up. And this pose is called Viparita Karani, legs at the wall. and it's very restful for your nervous system. This is really nice and supportive for your back. So you can give that a go. Loads of space around your head if you want to have a go. Okay, so can I help you with that? If you take it off, I'll show you. Put the soles of your feet together. And it's that way. Okay, and relax. And you put a block underneath. Oh, you put your blanket there. Lovely. Do you want that as well? Yeah. So whichever position you've chosen, letting yourself rest at ease. Back to the breath that we had at the beginning. So inhale is as it is, but let the exhale lengthen and slow. Not as much force as we had at the beginning, just let the exhale fall through the body. And sometimes it feels nice just to interrupt the exhale on the way out. So you can just breathe out to a third, pause, breathe out a little more, pause, breathe out a little more, pause until you're completely empty. Using the exhale to once again go to all those good parts of the body, what feels good in the body, and use your exhale to melt those sensations through your whole body. Toes relax, ankles, knees, hips, whole of the spine, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers and thumbs. Notice the breath just flowing in and out. And let the control go for now. And relax into the supports beneath you, whether you're using a belt or blocks or cushions or a wall, or you're just sitting. Sound of the chime to bring you back round, sound of the bowl. And if you have supports underneath you, just slowly sliding them away, drawing your knees into your chest. Take a few breaths there. If you're at home and you want to stay resting for longer, then please do. Coming up to sitting when you're ready. Bring your hands to your heart. And take a big breath in, sweep your arms up and away. And exhale. Hands to your forehead and then to your heart. And just bow your forehead down to your fingertips. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to stop this recording in the chat.